to this week's episode of Diesel and the Beard.
Welcome back, KFFL, to episode 14 of Diesel and the Beard.
Diesel and
Yours truly, the beard meets no beard. If you notice, I'm a little bit slimmer on the chin this week.
Yeah, the beard is, the name is not representative of the look.
Next season, boys. Next season.
Why'd you shave? Just to get the mo going?
Yeah, no, I had a doctor that was like, I gotta check you out. And he was like, you gotta go down to the wire for me. So, you know, it was weird actually. The breeze on your face, it was an interesting experience after years of being buried under ginger fur. Yeah, so we've got a huge episode to get into with my co-host Diesel.
We had a week off.
Yep. Took a little vacation between episodes 13 and 14, but we're back. And so this week we want to recap week 12's action. There was a lot of goings on, and so we're gonna give you guys the 411 on that. Then we're gonna move to the grabs and we're gonna grade them. And just like we do every week, we're gonna tell you what we think. There's quite a few moves that we're gonna look at, so I think there's probably some opportunity for Dorian and I to disagree. And then we're going to look at another man's treasure. There's quite a few opportunities, I think, out there for us to help you guys with on the drops.
Yeah. That's it's been a crazy, week and a half, 2 weeks. You had the Thanksgiving games go off on the Thursday. You were having a personal move. You are no longer in Casa Ella Dorian. You've got your own little pad now. And then you throw in the Ravens and the COVID stuff.
Crazy.
It's been a crazy fantasy. Football, real life football, real fantasy, and real life. It's been busy for both of us. So
yeah, it's good to be
A
back,
lot to unpack. And we may as well start right from the top, I guess.
Yeah, so I'll jump in, and I want to know what you think about this one. We had Craig and Rosie going at it. Now, there wasn't a lot in terms of the playoff implications. At this point, I think both of those guys, they know they're eliminated and they're playing for consolation. But the final score on that, I mean, Rosie's won 2 of 3, and he put up 99 points while Craig slid in with 48.
Yeah, I mean, from an outside look, it's like the who cares bowl, but I mean,
yeah,
the inside look is we're probably looking at the consolation contenders. Yeah, the consolation contenders. So, and Rosie looks to be winning that. He looks like his team's good enough to win him. Win him a first round pick. But
what does that mean? I mean, if he wins that and gets the 1-1, I mean.
Yeah, he's going to get an impact young running back. Now, I mean, those always get hyped up more pre-draft.
Chuba
right?
Hubbard, man.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a quarterback in his future because maybe he's feeling a little weary about the Joe Burrow move, which I don't think we've talked about since.
We haven't.
The big trade sparks the controversy, and Burrow gets his knee exploded.
The thing is, Rosie told me the day before, he was like, I had a dream that he went out. And I was like, come on, man. That's
bad luck.
That's bad juju. Sure enough.
It's bad luck. I mean, it is what it is. It could happen to anyone. I can't believe it actually happened. But it did. And it is what it is. So...
they both look to be good in the consolation, but I'm with you right there. So the next one is the one a lot of people were talking about. It was the second leg of 3 between yourself and Cody Powell. That's for anyone that doesn't know, that's the super rivalry we introduced last year, which features the first and second finisher against the first against the second finisher, and the 11th versus the 12th. And they play 3. And so you won the first, Powell won the second, and you were just off air telling me it sounds like you think Powell's got you.
I just think I like some of his matchups this week, and I mean even last week, it was a fun matchup, right? We were pretty neck and neck. Really, what it came down to is who was going to have the bigger Sunday night performance, was between DK or Lockett. And I got that monster Lockett performance a few times this year in the primetime game to give me wins. But this week it was all DK. And it is what it was. Came down to the last game. You know, I don't feel like I got blown out. It was just DK had a night and Lockett didn't. And that's really what happened. But I like Powell's matchups next week, just from an overview look so far. So we'll see. You know, I'll put my best roster forward and see what I can muster. But
well
done,
and
Powell.
I think later on in the episode we will do a bit more of a deep dive on the match, because I've got the ECR ratings, and I think you'd be surprised to see what the experts are saying. So
yeah, for sure,
we'll dig into that.
I know I got some decent tiebreakers in my corner, but
yeah,
we'll see.
So the next game on tap was the tilt between my brother and Chad. And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think many people were on the side of my brother. I'm just going to jump back into our notes from last week, or I guess we wouldn't have, never mind. Anyways, so Chad really was the favorite. And so for him to go down, I mean, it just threw the entire table into disarray.
Good for Cody. It was a nice win. Cody's hard. Cody's hard. He's got like this little core group of players, and you're just like rolling the dice with him every week, right? It's like who's gonna blow and who's gonna show.
100%, man. 100%. And you know, obviously we give him grief, and so when you look at a performance like that, you know, to be fair, I mean, he really hasn't had many of those performances where he's come through when he needs to. And so you're right. Good for him on the statement. Because in reality,
really a surprise though? Now I'm looking back here. You got
I've given Chad grief for his running backs. I mean, I was on
Hill, Matt Breida.
He's never going to watch, but I will say he's got some injury issues. If you look at his IR, all three positions are filled with running backs. Yeah. So, and one of them is Saquon Barkley.
Chad did put up a dismal week, dismal week.
Pathetic.
And Chase Claypool did nothing. We're expecting a big week at Russ. He put up a meager 16 points.
I want to just before you move on from that, you know, Chad hasn't been talking too much lately about Russ, but he was saying that Russ was worth more than Rodgers all last season. The jury's no longer out on that, and you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah. Russ started hot, started cooling off pretty quick this year anyways. And
he was unreal.
I've been getting shit on for a long time over this Rodgers deal I did, but I mean, there's meat on the bone there.
Oh man, take it from me. You got him. I actually at the beginning of the clock, after we did that deal, I was over the moon, man. I thought I aped you like no one else, and now I'm like, I could have got more than that maybe.
I drafted Burrow in the second round, expecting that I was going to get 1 year out of Rodgers. And what actually led me to kind of force my hand to make a move in getting rid of Joe Burrow was that Rodgers still looks like he's playing at a high level. And
he might win the MVP this year, man.
So I don't think next year the clock hits 12 and he turns into a pumpkin. I think I can roll him another year. And I heard this with Breeze a lot. Last year for Breeze.
How many years did you hear that? They've been saying that to you since when?
Since I drafted the fucking guy. And this is the first year I haven't used him. So
unbelievable, man.
And I started the season with him. So anyways, I mean, there's meat on the bone with Rodgers. And so I'm not going to be switching to a younger quarterback next year, which is why I kind of was pushing the Burrows trade. So had I had to force to keep Burrows, I would have been happy with that too. So it didn't really matter.
Interesting. Well, the next, let's move on here. So the next match, Justin Valdez, he continues to play spoiler. Now, obviously, you know, when you've got two guys like Loudon and JV playing who are obviously out of the playoffs, it doesn't amount to much. But again, you look at Valdez, who continues to take flack. He just, every time I look at him, he's over 100 points.
Yeah, he is. And he's he's getting production out of the guys he likes and the guys that he's
Deshaun Watson,
yeah,
Austin
he's been holding
Eckler.
on to Austin. Gallman put up 15 for him. Keenan Allen's looking a little bit more poised in that role with Herbert throwing the ball. So, yeah, I mean, good on Valdez. I think Valdez needs a little bit more focus next year to like really kind of spice his team up and make a run. But
yeah, I'm with you, man. I think that if he locked in, it would be a different outcome for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Next one up was the duo makes statement by putting Chalmers down and claiming the bye. I'm going to just cue up a clap there. The duo locking in the bye. Regardless of how, who, what, when, where, if you get a bye in the KFFL, you get a week off in the hardest league in fantasy football. And I'm telling you right now, the week off, it's amazing. You just throw your feet up, you watch the guys go at it.
I don't like it. I hate the bye. I feel like one of my guys might put up an accidental fucking nuke.
They do.
That I don't
they
get to
absolutely
use.
do. They do.
And,
but yeah. I mean, but anyways, they got it. They got it done. They played Jake. And I'm telling you right now, if Jake had won that match, which he wasn't close to, like these guys went nuclear. But if Jake had won, I mean, again, that would have been one of those big time upset plays where that whole, the whole thing just flips on its head,
Yeah.
So Jake would have literally been right there for the bye. And so he's no longer in play because they've clinched it. And congratulations, boys.
Yeah. Well done, duo. Yeah. Moving on.
Well, this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but if I score 108 more points, I break Edwards' record from 2015 at 4.4. And if I get past Reynolds this week, I will also set the new record for wins and losses in a KFFL season.
Well deserved. Good job. I'll give you a clap for that.
Thanks,
I don't care how people do it. You're putting up record numbers in a league that's expanded. Everyone wants to shit on me because I won my title when there was 8 teams. I've been to 3 more since, but no one likes to talk about that. But that means that at one time the teams were much better because you had more high-end talent on it. And you're going to be breaking the record, or you have a shot. You're close to breaking the record in a 12-man format where the teams are a lot more scarce.
True.
The competition's much harder than it was in the early years when these records were getting set. Like the guys this year, I mean, our worst GM would probably dominate most other, family leagues or whatever. It's true.
That's funny, man. That is very true.
It probably would, right? Like, it'd be hard to find the worst GM anymore. So, just the fact that you're doing it in this year says a lot. And you've kind of done it without a quarterback, really. I mean, man. You don't have the big flamethrower that is generally like, the guy that's putting up 50 points a week than the rest of your roster. I mean, if you had, a Mahomes on your team, or like even a Rodgers or a Josh Allen, or even I think a Russ,
anything,
you would already have the record. Probably.
I would, man. There were 2 weeks I would have broke 100, right? Because I still haven't. You actually have the record for a week. It was 198.
Yeah.
And I haven't broke that. I would have if I had a quarterback. Lamar's let me down, and now he has COVID. Just for the record, and thanks for those words, Dorian, because we both know what type of league this is. We've been in it for 10 years now, so that means a lot. But in regards to all those people that were shitting all over the place because of COVID, it's like, can we just look at my team right now? Like I had a priority pick on Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm just going to say you put up 175.96 points, and Cam Newton gave you 3.96 points for the week.
Three.
You plug and play a lot of other QBs in that scenario. Let's just pretend you had Mahomes. The new record is 220-something points in a week if you have Mahomes in there. So, hey, people want to shit on you and whatever. It's scary because your team looks like it's all hitting the stride at the correct time. And you could have sat your quarterback and you would have beat almost everyone in the league other than
it
Other
would have
than the
been
duo.
the duo. That's right.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, I think what's happened now is we've created this vacuum of competition last year, and this year it's just been a response across the board. I mean, I've had every single ownership group across the board say to me in some way, uh, next year's the year. 21. It's like they're gearing up, whether it's
Yeah.
you or it's Reynolds or it's Rosie or Craig or the duo even. I mean, so this season is good and all and well and everything, but I think next year is just going to be running with the Bulls, man.
Yeah, I feel you there. Everyone has kind of gave the impression that we would need to morph into Optimus Prime to
For
or
this year.
Megatron to turn
Yeah, I
into
like
put
that
in a.
banter you and Reynolds had, man. You put him in his place for sure. If
I
Reynolds
just
is
don't like it.
listening.
I just don't like it. I don't like the
Well, what do you
quitters
not like
attitude.
though? Like specifically, I mean.
What are
As
we
talked
playing
about.
for? Because it's like, the whole, well, we're all playing for second place. Like, that's just like garbage,
Yeah.
I can't even count how many times a team was dominant rolling into.
Edward.
Ed lost when he was setting all the records. I had a year where my team was absolutely fucking fire. I'm pretty sure, and I got beat in the finals.
That was by
Twice.
me by like a court. It was
Yeah.
the year that I won. That 1 year I won. I believe it was the second year. You were ridiculous.
Yeah, so I just hate the whole like, oh, let's not really play for this year. It's like, put your best fucking team out there. Worry about next year. And
True.
if you don't
True,
go
man.
out there and you're trying to win every week, then like, what are we doing here?
Very true, man. Very true.
Who's
Well, let's take a look at some of the grabs these guys made to try and play for this year, and I think it starts and it's a bit controversial if you ask a few of the owners across the league, but grading the grabs, Marquise Brown, I picked him up. I don't know if you know how I made this happen.
you took out some sort of magic wand and then sprinkled some sort of pixie
I
dust.
I stumbled into it, man.
And then he blows up for the week.
It was like the Marshmallow Man. I just kind of like put him in water and he turned into a gigantic
I
beast.
saw the pickup and I was like, it's funny because I remember early in the year you were going after him for your stack and you were just trying to get it done with Jake, and Jake had a high value on him, didn't want to move him. Marquise doesn't really do anything he's got some weeks where he has nice catches and some nice, but he's not
2 good weeks over 10
not
points
who we thought
before
he
last
was.
week.
Yeah,
he's not getting the volume.
Right. They're not a throwing team. The Ravens are certainly not a throwing
I lost
team.
Will Fuller, man. The bottom line is I picked up Marquise Brown. For a lot of people that don't know, if you go back and look at the draft history, and you would never know this, but on my draft board, Marquise Brown was ahead of Will Fuller. Marquise Brown was drafted ahead of Will Fuller.
Yep.
I lost Will Fuller.
Yep.
I picked up Marquise Brown.
Yeah, and he blows up, which is just crazy. And it was the third string quarterback. I can't even remember his name after RG3 went out.
I just called him Sylor, man. I don't know.
And then Marquis just goes fucking house with it, which is
70
crazy.
yards.
But I like to pick up.
Thanks,
I
man.
mean, it helped you shoot up this week. Do I see it as a long-term play for you? Not really. With Fuller out, I mean, maybe does he get in next week again? I haven't looked at your bench.
John Brown is my boy, man. John Brown was dropped. I don't know why. That was a huge mistake by whoever did it. He's my boy. He was on the championship team last year. And listen, Josh Allen is a different guy when John Brown's on the field. It's been proven because now he's been off twice and Josh has looked shit.
Right.
So when I look at that, man, this is a nice 2-week stash play or 2-week run and gun play. And then my John Brown stash comes to life. So, but anyways, that's my team. Moving on. God, Powell, 3 picks on this list. So the first is Malcolm Brown. Yeah. The second is Anthony McFarland, and the third is Jordan Akins. We got 2 running backs and a tight end. What do you think?
I like Akins. I think he looks even better now that Deshaun's throwing the ball a ton. I like Malcolm Brown too.
You had Malcolm Brown.
I did have him for a little bit. I think Cam Akers is just starting to emerge in that offense a bit more. I saw that he was like the number 2 trending running back pickup, which is fine. I've been waiting on him long enough, just sitting on a bench, chewing up a spot. So hopefully he is who we thought he was.
He looked very spicy out of the gate, man. He looked like a thoroughbred busting out of the gate at the horse races.
Yeah, I think Powell's moves in general warrant a B plus from me, and I think
Nice.
your Marquise Brown is also a B plus.
Nice.
Again, it'd probably be a higher rank if he was going to have to be in your roster for the rest of the year, but I don't see him making too many starting debuts for you. But
Mhm.
perfect grab for when you needed it.
Yep.
Um,
WR3 for me, man. He's a WR3.
yeah, what more do you want? So I don't know. What do you think about Powell's moves?
So I look at them and I go, okay, Powell, you got a good. Basically, what he did is he played the floor. He took a guy like Malcolm Brown. He's not going to get a 0. He's not going to get a 12. He might get you a 5 or a 3.
Yeah.
And the same with Anthony McFarland, and Jordan Akins. I think may get a target boost with Will Fuller out. So, but I
Yeah.
really look at Akins more as a touchdown or bust guy. So, I mean, none of them exceed a B for me. I think that he's more so just filling in gaps as he needs it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that he's active. It shows that he's looking long term.
Well, that's kind of maybe more, yeah, that he did 3. This was a weird week for the waiver too.
Super weird. Super
Anyways.
weird.
Rosie
Next up,
Kiki Kuti.
yeah, I was just Rosie. I mean, great pick, but fuck you, man. No, I
This
mean, like,
Kiki was getting love like a couple years back, and then he
oh
just dropped
man,
off. Like, and then you don't
he's
even hear his name now. So,
no. If you
but
if we were
he was in a rookie wide receiver corps for a while that was getting some love. Like, I don't even know when, maybe 4 years ago,
it
4
was
years
3
ago.
years ago, I think, and he is one of those guys that is now considered a post hype prospect. So this is like a baseball fantasy reference where you got these guys that come in, they're really hyped, they fall flat, or they don't have a sustained success, but they still show flashes down the road, and they're still there. They're not shitty enough to be benched. They're still there,
Yeah.
and that's QT, man. I think he's going to be the big benefactor. He bumps into the slot role, and Fuller was just running wild. Watson has that position is just
Yeah.
benchmarked or earmarked for Watson. So
I don't mind that move at all.
I gave it an A.
Really, yeah. You're just thinking target share.
It's just pure target share. And Deshaun Watson, now that Bill O'Brien's gone, man, he's just taking the shackles off. He's a
Problem
machine.
is, Kiki's had a chance to prove himself. He got like the rookie targets. He got time to develop.
Hopkins
He
and
never.
Fuller were both there. That's the thing, man. This is more of a now we've got Brandon Cooks who's going to demand the attention if you want to shade the safety. And so this guy underneath, man, I'm telling you, he could get 10 targets. Like
Yeah.
I was so pissed when Rosie got him because I was just going to slap him in. I was going to drop Marquise Brown just to spite everyone.
Yeah, I hear you.
What do you give it?
I give it a B plus. I mean, I
Nice.
just don't. I'm not sold on Kiki because
Mhm.
he's one of the guys that's like, well, the cream will rise to the top, and he never
Mhm.
rose to the top, and now he's being forced into a role. It's not like he went in and
He
earned
is.
it. They've had
No, you know what?
They've had lots of time to look at this guy, put him into a nice starting role, and he's always been
Mhm.
that third, fourth, fifth receiver in the depth chart.
That's
And I
true.
don't see him as much more than a gadget guy. Like, yeah, he'll probably catch some underneath just because Fuller's out and they need someone to catch the ball, but my guess is that he drops almost as many as he catches, and he's not very big either.
Speaking of gadget guys, Craig picked up Tavon Austin.
Wow, I'm surprised
Signed
he's
in
still
Green Bay.
alive. Yeah, Craig's on top of the Green Bay. He's got like a beat reporter's Instagram or something.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
He's got like the beat writer Twitter handle saved to his like iPhone widget panel.
I mean,
Just
if anyone's
streams.
gonna resurge a receiver's life, it's probably Rodgers right now.
Man, they talked about how they were going to use him. I was reading about it earlier today. Actually, it's really cool. Tavon Austin is just heart. He's the heart eye emoji right now. Like that's him.
Yeah.
And they're going to use him on punt returns, and he's going to be like a jet sweep guy, gadget guy, motion
That's
guy.
cool.
I love it, man. Honestly, Rodgers really Randall Cobb was the last guy we kind of had, but he was more of a hybrid slot gadget guy. Tavon Austin, he is now, funny enough, he's the highest ranked drafted receiver that we've had on our starting roster since Desmond Howard. He was drafted 8th overall in 2013.
You can take this to the bank. Whoever Green Bay drafts at receiver next year, which should be first or second round, because this year was just a fucking joke.
Oh, man.
I will be getting him. Mark it down. I will be getting whoever Rodgers can recommend.
I did that with Devontae, and I remember TJ. When TJ was in the league, he was in, I think, 15, 16, and 17, and then Ed chased him out of the league.
Good.
So anyways, I won't go. Actually, I'm not going to give detail on that. I'll save that one for later.
Okay. What else we have Tannehill.
I want to talk about no, before Tannehill, let's talk about Devontae Booker. Reynolds grabbed him.
Yeah, I like Booker.
Is he starting? Is Jacobs out? What's going on there?
No, Jacobs has a hurt ankle. It's kind of up in the air right now. But I looked at Booker, but Booker didn't. I like Booker as a player. Like, he's a good guy.
Former Denver running back, eh?
He didn't do much with his. You think he had 5 or 6 carries last week for 5 yards.
He saw the field last week?
He's been getting a little bit of touches when Jacob needs a breath. But I think Reynolds is just. Last I heard, Jacobs was probably going, but I didn't check today to see if there was.
So this is like.
But if Jacobs is out, then Booker's going to get a heavy workload.
Well, what do you give it?
If he'll do much with it.
I gave it a C.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. C plus, C minus. Choose it. I'd say C. Just give him a C because I mean it could change to a heavy B plus if Jacobs is out. But even
that's kind of
Booker being. I would see. John Gruden's not going to give him the workload he gives Jacobs. It's not going to be like plug and play. Here's your 25 touches. It's going to be way less. So.
I want to let the crowd know, the fans out there know, Diesel is a diehard Raiders fan. So, in terms of the nuances of that offense, I do trust what you're saying more than the average fan. So, I like Booker. So if you say that he's a potential B plus with the market share of touches, then you know what, Reynolds might have known something I didn't. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it's still there's variables to that. Jacob still has to go out. So,
right. I want to move on to your pickup here because there's probably not a more polarizing name available. And in terms of name brand, I think it really just takes one game and this guy's back to where we thought he was. The name is Mark Ingram. And I mean, to be honest with you, the thought of this guy being dropped in the preseason is unthinkable. Reynolds kept him. And I thought that was a bit of a stretch, or did he keep him? Anyways, regardless of whether he kept him, he still had him, and he had to drop him. And it made my heart break. But then I saw the production, and there was J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. They sprinkled in some Justice Hill and some other gadgetry with Marquise Brown. And then you had Lamar Jackson. And so, I don't know. Let's talk about why you made this pickup. I like it, but I'd like everyone else to know maybe some insight here.
Well, this for me is a 100% scratch ticket. Mark Ingram is a free agent next year. He has been looking for a team to be a feature back on. If he lands somewhere that needs a workhorse running back, what's his value going to be worth?
Houston. He goes to Houston.
Yeah, if he goes to Houston, I'm keeping him at that point. And
he could reproduce what he did with Lamar last year in that RPO style. If they got him with that knowledge of that RPO style over to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's just, strictly scratch ticket. Does he land somewhere? Does he sign a big contract? Is he a feature back? If not, whatever. I didn't pay anything for him.
I'm going to give it a B. I give you a B on that.
I mean.
That's the thing. If he signs somewhere, it could be an A+. For this
Not to mention, there still could be value out of him throughout the remainder of the year. I don't think we've seen a healthy Baltimore Ravens team in a couple weeks now. And when he's in, there's no questions about it. He's the feature back.
Yep.
And he gets goal line touches. Yep. And I've had Gus Edwards for a brief little spell. I got JK in another league. I love having Baltimore running backs. In fact, Gus Edwards won me a big bet on
I was going to bring that
night.
up. Let's hear it, Dorian. How much did you
win?
But
when Mark Ingram is in the lineup, he is their fucking number one back. So I got a number one back. Yeah, there's guys behind him, but the real value here is where does he land next year? Maybe he signs a contract, maybe he doesn't.
I love those plays, man. So what you're doing is you're FA farming. We talked about rookie farming 2 weeks ago. You're FA farming. I did it with Lamar Miller a couple years ago. I did it with Jay Ajayi the 1 year. It's like the guys have talent. Maybe they don't go anywhere, but what does it cost you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it kind of happened with David Johnson for me this year. I took him in last year as an injured. He ends up going to Houston. I got a couple good weeks out of him.
Man.
He's since been gone. But, I love guys like this. Mark Ingram's a very capable back.
You did that. I fucking remember you doing that. Well done.
Yeah.
That paid off.
It's the game within the game, right? So Mark Ingram, We'll see. I like him as a runner, and thanks. And anyways, that's where my head was at. It was
Nice.
strictly agent.
I gave it a B. I don't expect you to grade your own
Sure.
crap, but I liked it, and I thought there was a high range of potential outcomes there.
Also, where I'm picking, like I thought that was tons of value. Like,
well, I mean, for you, there's just,
yeah.
I mean, if you had the first overall waiver, then maybe not, right? But yeah, exactly. Well, then the only other one there, other than mine, before we get to mine, there, Darnell Mooney, the duo grabbed. I mean, guys, I guess it's a strict. Maybe they're rookie farming. Maybe maybe that's what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. I don't see.
I'm sure Silva has something up his sleeve. I mean, the both of them have something up their sleeve. I mean, Silva has something up his sleeve. There's your little Friday shade. There's your Friday shade. It's okay because I don't think they listen to our shitty little podcast. So
they do.
Moving along.
Silva's going to be beating his drum, and I fucking love it, man. That's awesome.
Tannehill. Yeah. I like it. Tannehill's been just like the guy that's been sitting there all week, that kind of, or all year, plug and play. He'll give you probably a decent week. He's in that 15 to 25 range quite often. And
he's my starter
quarterback. And after you gave Cam scootin', bootin', rootin', tootin' his shot last week, he's since been dealt with, and now you got to roll.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's the best plug and play there was available. So B+.
And it was pathetic. We watched it together. It was so bad. It was just bad. So Tannehill was the best available quarterback, and honestly, Lamar's been less than stellar. So I actually am going to roll with Tannehill until further notice.
Really? I actually like that play, man. I feel bad for your Lamar because I don't think anyone. I mean, I won't speak too much on it, but I know you were planning to move away from keeping a quarterback in the future, and I don't think he's not giving you much value. You got a few more weeks where he can really show what he used to be.
Yep.
But with the quarterback market as competitive as it is, Lamar's having a hard time sneaking his way into that starting 12 when Baltimore's it's run heavy. And
I just got to I get to put together a little compilation of his running plays this year and see what it looks like. Maybe put like a nice hip hop beat to it, and
but maybe someone scoops him up for cheap, and there's still a lot of value if he comes back out next year and starts throwing bombs. It's
we'll see.
Buy low, sell high.
There's still, we're in week 13. There's still 4 weeks left, and then we've got the off season. So,
right.
So another man's treasure. Let's just kick into this gear here, because there's some players here that I'm like, pardon me. The first one is Jonnu Smith. I dropped him. I mean, he's got such potential, but the receiving core and the running backs are just so dominant. AJ Brown's a beast. Derrick Henry's a beast. Where does Jonnu Smith fit in? Corey Davis has taken his targets, and I've dropped him. I think he's still got touchdown appeal. He's on the waiver wire.
So you're just worried about his target share. Is that kind of
a floor that's not 0? And he went targetless last week, and he was completely healthy. So I just and then he hurt himself on Monday, and
I'm reading that now. Yeah, he's out. It looks like right now he's out.
Yeah, he's missed practice since then. So it's just a comedy of errors with this guy, So, and I look at it and I go, I have Derrick Henry. That's a conflict for me, And Derrick Henry, I mean, if he's going to score 3 touchdowns unabated, then what am I doing here, hoping for a 4th thrown to the tight end over AJ Brown? It's not going to happen. So I'm deterring people from grabbing him, but I will say the guy's got pure touchdown appeal. He's an absolute beast. Number 81, watch for him. He's an absolute beast.
I've watched a few of his games. It seems like every time you needed him to score a touchdown, he was coming through. And for a guy like me that's actually really been struggling with a tight end, if he wasn't out right now, I would be definitely looking at him. But
he's got, Dorian, for your advice or anyone else out there, his appeal is his touchdowns. Like, he can get 2 to 3 touchdowns in a game. I mean, he gets red zone targets. He gets at least 1 to 2 red zone targets a game, other than last week when he had 0 the entire game. But so you're looking at his averages, and that's not good. But again, at the same time, I mean, he's ranked as the number 5 tight end on the season. So I mean,
I think there's tons of value there.
We'll leave that. I put Kendall Hinton on this list just because he's an absolute piece of garbage. I mean, he might be a great human, but it was painful to watch that, man.
Oh fuck, that was bad. But I mean, what do you
expect?
Good
on you, Reynolds.
Yeah, good start, Ray.
James
JD
White.
McKissick. Oh yeah, let's go to James White. He had to be the guy after he put up a banger for me. Gives me 2 TDs last week, which obviously didn't help me win, but it was a nice little spot start for me. But just too much value in Mark Ingram's offseason. If he signs as a feature back, James White had to be the cut. I couldn't really justify anyone else, and also James White really he got two carries in the red line. And he turned them both into touchdowns from the one. It was just
saw the one.
Yeah,
it was
the rest
like
of the game was pathetic. Yeah, but hey, anyways, did a good job.
JD McKissick, target hog.
Yeah.
Alex Smith loves him, man. He doesn't throw downfield. Logan Smith and J.D. McKissick have been the biggest benefactors from the.
You know why I don't like McKissick? I honestly don't. I don't know if I lost a betting on him. Every time I hear his name, I'm just like shitty, scrawny back that steps out of bounds too early.
Chris Thompson, man. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I'm with you. AJ Green, and so this is the next player on the list, and I almost traded. So this is people don't know this. I went to Craig about a month ago, and I was seriously looking at this is an insurance policy move I was looking at making behind Will Fuller. I was like, I still didn't know, and so I'm always looking at being proactive and trying to win this thing. And so I was like, Craig, let's kick the tires on AJ Green, and that didn't really go anywhere. Well, here he is, number 85 receiver on the season.
I don't know. He still has some name brand value, but I think that gas tank is close to empty. Yeah.
Yeah, the quarterback play is just
no quarterback and a ticking expiry date. Like he's not. But even Burrows comes back next year. AJ's another year.
I
have in 2 years. Yeah. So, anyways, a little bit of name value there.
Jordan Wilkins, last one on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I think roster dependent.
What the game script is like. I mean, honestly, you've got Nyheim Hines just doing his thing, and then you've got JT doing his thing, and so.
I mean, I don't look at a lot of teams in our league that are like desperate. Maybe Chad. I don't know. But
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is a guy that needs a running back, because at the end of the day, you need to put someone there, and you're not going to put an injured dude. So he's a warm body. That's the way I looked at it. So.
I mean, I think there's a premium on featured running backs in this league, and I think everyone has a good couple of them. Chad's had some bad luck.
Very bad luck.
I think he struggles to make his way into a lot of starting rosters in our league.
The next one up is really, I think, the reason most people are tuning in this week, and it's gonna occupy the majority of, I think, the rest of our show. I do want to talk bets because you've had some real juicy action, but playoff lives matter, and this is the tiebreaker edition. I want to kick it off with Cody Powell. You and Cody Powell both face off again in what we mentioned earlier is the third leg of the super rivalry. Without going into too much detail, I want to just start with the numbers. And so the numbers this week show Powell has a 69% chance of getting into the playoffs, and he has a 7% chance of winning the championship. You have a 65% chance of making the playoffs with the exact same percent chance to win the title.
Is that a typo?
No.
Because one of us has to lose this week, which would change those stats.
That's right. So what would happen? Here's what I'm kind of seeing, and we had talked about this off air. If you win and Powell loses, right? If my brother wins, then he's in. If my brother loses, we've got a serious situation. I didn't look at the tiebreakers, but I'm going to just go take a quick peek at the season series between Powell and my brother. But I think
we're sure it goes to season series?
Head to head. Yep. That is the playoff tiebreaker.
And if it's split 1-1.
And I believe it goes to points for and against. Differential.
The differential.
Yep.
This could be cool.
This is why I wanted to talk about this, because when you see, I mean, right now, look, this is just for everyone listening, so they can have sort of a snapshot of what we're discussing. So I'm number 1 right now at 11-1. The duo is number 2 at 9-3, and so those 2 spots are locked up. The buys are put to bed. But then it just gets into this absolute trench warfare for this last spot. So we're looking at Powell at 7-5, Jake at 7-5. You're at 7-5. Cody Wilson is at 7-5. Chad is at 7-5, and Reynolds is still alive at 6-6.
He dropped he was mathematically eliminated. Was that just him talking shit?
It is him talking shit. If he beats me this week, which is entirely possible given the COVID scenario, and you've got a mixture of losses in the right way. I mean, he's won 6 games. He's also lost 6 games. If he's gone ahead and looked at all the potential scenarios and he has lost against all the guys that he needs to win, then it's over. But the site Fantasy Pros is giving Reynolds a 34% chance to make it. So
really,
if he was mathematically eliminated, typically they would put it to 0. So.
What a crazy finish we're gonna have.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do right now while we're on air is I'd like to see the season series between a few of these guys. So currently I'm just pulling up my brother. So he played against Powell and he lost against Powell, 97-90 in week 7. And so we get into a scenario where if these guys start losing, Cody also lost to Chad, one of the guys that's in this grouping. He also lost to Jake, one of the guys that's in this grouping. He did beat Reynolds. And so,
I think he beat me as well.
Now, him and Chad actually have had 2 games, and they're 1-1. So he did beat you as well. Yeah. So my brother has the tiebreaker against you, and it would be close with him and Chad. But outside of that, he's on the outside looking in against Powell and Jake. If we go and take a look at the next team on the list, which is Jake.
Of course, Cody gets to play Rosie. I guess
I
Rosie's on an upswing, but.
Well, and that's the thing that Rosie's looking at playing spoiler, Yeah.
So
Jake, on the other hand, Jake is playing against Loudon, and he holds tie-breaking wins against you. He holds tie-breaking wins against my brother and against Chad. He surprisingly lost against Reynolds, and he also lost against Powell. So Powell's got some, I think I'm just going to flip over to Powell's right now, but it looks like Powell has, Powell's got some say here. So Powell lost, let's just see here. He's 1-1 against you. He lost to the duo. He beat Craig, he beat Jake, he beat Chad, he beat Cody, he beat Rosie, he beat JV. So Powell only is weak to Reynolds. Yeah, he's only weak to Reynolds. So Powell is in a good position right now. Powell holds a lot of the cards, I believe. If Powell were to win, that would put you at 7-6. And so I'm going to switch over to yours quickly and just take a peek at who you've beaten. So you lost to Jake. You lost to my brother. But you have beat Chad and you have beat Reynolds.
Me and Powell are tied.
God, man, honestly, I've never in my career as a fantasy football owner, I have never seen something, I've never seen so much ride on something like this before. Like, it's the 3rd game, so it's the trilogy being decided. But beyond that, it's who can rise up from the ashes of the 2019 season. You guys both finished 11-12. One of you is going to the playoffs, and one of you is not going to the playoffs.
Could both of us go?
I think there are realms where he wins, and you win, but because he has the tiebreaker, he is going to be able to possibly also get in. He holds all the cards. That's the thing a lot of guys are not understanding here. Powell has beaten the majority of guys he needs to. If Reynolds beats me, Reynolds has a lot of tiebreakers too. If Reynolds gets to 7-6 and the right people lose, I don't know, Reynolds, let's hear from you. Have we heard from you? Is this just sadness and you're like rubbing your tears all over your face like a war mask, or what's going on over there?
Yeah, crazy. And I'm just looking at my lineup too, and it's just, Ingram's got COVID right now. Brown's on bye. Curtis Samuel's on bye. Lazard's questionable. Gurley's questionable. Julio Jones is questionable. So
I mean, it's like this. This is the way I look at it. Outside of the game between Reynolds and I and the game between you and Powell, okay? Chad's playing JV. Cody's playing Rosie. Jake's playing Loudon. And the duo's playing against Craig. That's irrelevant. Honestly, man, it's insane. If Jake wins, so this is what's going to happen. If Jake wins, which he should, he'd go to 8-6. Okay. If my brother wins, which he should, he'd go to 8-5. Jake would go to 8-5. If everyone goes to 8-5 like they should, okay, it's going to come down to the pair of you guys. This is insane. Like, Jake should win. He should go to 8-5. My brother should win. He should go to 8-5.
Yeah.
Chad should win. He should go to 8-5. If those three happen, right?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 3 spots, right? That's 3, 4, and 5. The winner of you and Powell will get in, and the loser is not going to get in. If those
sick.
three, this is the scenario. If the guys win that should win, if Jake, Cody Wilson, and Chad all beat the people that they should beat, the last playoff spot is going to go to either Cody Powell or yourself at 8-5.
Well, should beat, and I mean that's a big. I mean, there is no should beats in this league. So Chad is playing Valdez.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That's right.
Chad put up 61 points last week, and Valdez put up 127. So if last week was this week, Valdez wins that game. Cody is playing.
I got the projection up here before you move on. Just one sec here. Chad's 91 to JV's 108. That is a 17-point difference. And now Chad doesn't have a defense, but I'm only going to give him 10. He's a 7 to 8 point underdog right now. Unbelievable, man.
Cody had 103 last week, and Rosie put up 99.68, 100. That's a 3-point difference. So it's not like Rosie can't beat Cody. I mean, last week it would have been down to the wire. And who's the other game? Jake is playing
Loudon.
And that's, yeah. So I think Jake should win.
Loudon's a 5-point favorite. Wow. Unbelievable, man.
So these should wins
crazy.
Are really not, like, they're going to be gritty. And I hope everyone brings their best shit. Get tricky. Get your guys in. I'm going to have to do some real trickery here. And, really just kind of
before we get to your bets. Before we get to your bets, you're a 4-point underdog to Powell. Yep. You know, there's a few players here that I don't really know about on both sides. Julio, if Julio goes and Gurley goes, I mean, wow, that's huge.
Julio. I can't not start Julio.
Oh man, this is your playoff. This is a playoff game. This is a playoff game. You know?
I'm due for a big week out of Jones too. A lot of people everyone wants to talk that I got him for a good deal from Craig. I haven't had a banger.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a banger out of him. I think my best week with him was 12 or 13. They've all been
I'm just pulling him up right now. So he's had his last 4 games were 7.9, 9.5, 13, and 9. And I'll tell you why. He's not scoring. He had 19 touchdowns last season, and currently he's got 6.
I know. So I'm not getting the production out of him I need to really send me over the edge. Robinson, I've been completely happy with Robinson. Patrick, he can't start. I don't think Patrick can start for me. Tim Patrick, I mean, that whole Broncos situation is fucked.
Lockett, man. Lockett has disappointed you the last few weeks.
He's just so off and on.
Oh, whoa. Man, you need to rectify the situation immediately. The Lazard King should not be on your bench.
I've thought about that, but that gives me 3 Packers that I have to start. How many touchdowns is there to go around?
Enough,
We're playing
man.
Philly.
Enough. Go to the playoffs on the back of your boys. My boys! Woo!
There could be.
Do it.
I mean, Cam Akers. Does he get in there in the flex for a couple TDs? Boom or bust?
Here's the thing.
Push the chips to the middle. I mean, you got to put.
You might not have a choice, man. You might not have a choice. You might
Absolutely.
legitimately have to put him in over Gurley if Gurley doesn't go, and you might legitimately have to put the Lazard King in if Julio can't go. But I'm telling you right now, Tim Patrick comes out if I'm you, and the Lazard King goes into your WR3. I think he's a WR2 in fantasy, and that's a top 24 receiver.
Yeah.
And I think you're getting him as a steal to slot him in at a WR3. So.
Well, he is questionable as of right now.
God, this is insanity, man.
Practice, so I think a lot of it's going to unfold tomorrow with injury reports.
Mm-hmm.
And then, me, the gambler, the whiz, will be gambling on this week's roster that I will be putting forward. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure there's a free agent move in my future that's going to make my starting roster.
So let's talk about the bets, because you hit a massive one. Like, you sent that over the airwaves, man, and I was legitimately surprised by the what you pulled in there. That was a big shark.
Well, I was one of the assholes that had fucking Seattle minus 6.5 in that Philly game where Wentz throws a Hail Mary with 12 seconds left, goes for 2, which makes no sense.
Move. No. Everyone was screaming, man. That was an overplay.
They kicked the one. They still need to get an onside, and they still need to score. It made no difference. It was actually dangerous.
Man, they legitimately did it because Vegas hopped on the line and said there's a lot going here. Like, I don't know if it's they're threatening kneecaps or if they're just paying them, but I'm telling you right now, there's never been a reason to do what they did.
Doesn't make sense. Not mathematically, not in the analytics. It just doesn't make sense. So I got stung on that. It wasn't much, but I think I had $250 or $300 on it. So
yeah, that stings.
Went chasing bets. It was Wednesday. I was in this boring ass course online. 3:00, 3:50 Ravens start. I'm looking at the starting roster and I'm just thinking like, okay, RG3 is not throwing bombs. Baltimore is already a running team. Ingram is out. And so Gus Edwards gets goal line carries, and someone has to score for Baltimore, and it's going to be fucking Gus.
Unbelievable bet.
I bet the rest of my account, which was just under $500 on an anytime at 2.75 to 1 odds.
You bet $634.75.
And,
savage. And they tripled you up.
They did triple me up.
They tripled them up. And I'm running on whatever you're betting this week because of it, you savage. Wow. It was incredible.
And it was like the only touchdown they scored until late in the game, but it was the first one.
Was it? Was it late? How late was it?
Oh, no, it was early-ish. It was the first one they scored. I was going to bet Gus for the first touchdown, and then there was all kinds of fuckery. Pittsburgh ended up getting like a defensive score. And then Baltimore got a punt return. Pittsburgh muffed it, and then they ran it with who did they run it with? Hill? Or who's the other running back?
Justice Hill? Justice Hill.
They ran it twice with Justice Hill from the 5-yard line. Hill got stopped at the 1, and I was like, this is it. And then I'm watching the TV because, like, I'm watching Hill's jogging back into the huddle. I'm like, fuck, they're keeping him on the field. And then they're almost ready to say the play. He looks over his shoulder, and he starts sprinting off. I'm like, Gus is coming in. And then the Gus bus just fucking trudges in. I'm fucking celebrating on my Zoom call.
Oh, man.
It was a nice
dude. When I saw that bet, you sent that over, and the first thought that I had was, that's ballsy given Pittsburgh's run D. They have the top run D in the league, man.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like,
who else
unreal. Good for you.
They have to score a touchdown.
Yep.
And I've got to pick between, is RG3 going to throw it to someone? No. Someone's got to run it in, and they're going to give me 2.75 to 1 odds on Gus instead of Justice Hill, who would be their 4th on the depth chart. And Gus gets fucking goal line carries when Ingram and JK are in. So it's just like, this made sense to me. Great value. Lucky I hit. Got me out of that fucking Seattle fuckery.
I want to know what you're betting on this week. If you got any, maybe not obviously the player props because the majority of them aren't up, but if you've got any plays, I think this is one of those weeks where.
What are you looking at?
there's a few divisional games that I think are nice. I like the Lions +3 against Chicago. Chicago's pathetic, man. Like they're actually hard to watch.
Yeah, they're bad. And I
They're
thought they were
really
bad
bad.
early in the year, and I kept betting against them, and somehow they kept pulling out wins. And I'm like, I'm just going to stop betting against them right now because I don't know what's going on. And then since I stopped betting against them, they've just been on this downward tear of just like shit. And
like
Trubisky's not going to win them a game. And
I love that he's starting because if he's starting, I'm betting against him.
Yeah, but the Lions are one of those teams where it's like, fuck, do you ever want to bet on the Lions?
I'm betting against the Bears in this. That's the way I look at it.
Who's coaching them? Patricia just got canned.
Sometimes that's good though, man.
Yeah, look
honestly.
what it did for Atlanta.
Look what it did for Houston. That's where
true,
I'm going next. A home dog with Deshaun Watson against Phillip Noodle Arm Rivers. I'm going to take +3 at home. That's Houston.
I like that.
And you asked me what I like. Obviously, I'm not the whiz, so I'm only gonna provide a few here. But if I'm gonna have to take one more, I really, really, really like the Giants +11. I think the Seahawks -11 is one of those trap plays.
Yeah.
Russell has looked pathetic, man. And honestly, like they're going to be easing Chris Carson back in. I don't know. I'm not saying that the Giants win. I think there's no realm of reality where they win. But I've been hunting these big spreads lately. There's another spread that's -14. I actually like the Chiefs -14, but I'm not going to play that because that's too much of a trap. I just love plus, and +11 against the Seahawks. Anemic offense is something I like. Now, how much would I play? I'd parlay those. And that would pay 7.27 plus a 10% bonus. So if you're feeling spicy, I love taking plus at home. I love betting against Trubisky, and I love getting big double-digit spreads. So that's mine.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I like the Bills money line. They're a 1-point dog versus the Niners. I just like the Bills are playing good football this year.
I really like that.
Seems like some good value. And you know what? Like I went through the games. I was like, okay, Cincy Dolphins. I just taking Dolphins -11.5. I think they do win the game, but it's just a lot of points.
Yeah, that's
Miami
tough,
in December. It could be rainy, could be shitty. I have to get a weather report on that one. I don't touch Cleveland Browns, although I think the Titans are going to pound them. But 5.5 is a weird spread. I won't touch Detroit. I actually like Houston +3. As much as I think the Colts are firing, Houston's kind of just looked like they got a new energy to them.
Deshaun, he's unbelievable, man.
I don't bet Raiders games. I'm not touching Jacksonville, Minnesota.
I'll be straight. If I had to bet that Raiders game, I think the Jets could potentially win this week, man.
Really?
The Raiders looked fucking terrible last week.
Yeah, I don't see Gruden letting them get away with back-to-back weeks like that.
8 points at home. I mean, if they win by 7, you get your +8 on the Jets. Anyways,
There's something appealing about Atlanta +3 to me with Orleans. I don't know why. It's in Atlanta. It's divisional.
Take it. I just added it. I just juiced my ticket with it.
Yeah. So I like Atlanta +3. I like Bills money line, and I love the Packers minus. I'd probably adjust the spread from like 9.5 to like 8.
The Packers have won 6 games by double digits this season. That was an interesting stat. I heard this earlier today.
Philly's disgusting.
Philly is disgusting. So wait, I'm building a bet right now, and I'm gonna just add that one. So what did you say to adjust the Packers to?
I would go to Packers to like probably an 8-point
6.5
spread. 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like 8.
So putting it to 8 is 172, which is completely acceptable for me.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the only other one I'm missing here is the Bills money line. So let me get that
Bills
on here.
Money line. Yeah. I'm going to have to – I don't want to give out any, like, big lock picks, but, like, Atlanta looks really – I mean, Atlanta fucks me just about as much as anyone, but the rest of the games are kind of like, eh. Like, Cards versus Rams, that could go either way. Seattle
so right now, I mean, this is juicy, man. So I got the Lions +3. I'm gonna actually I'm going to remove that just for this ticket. I'm going to lower my risk. So the Texans +3, Giants +11, Falcons +3, Green Bay Packers -8, and Bills money line. It's just so nice paying 22.5.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, man, every week I do pick up upsets, and I'm so happy. It's such a thrilling feeling. And when the Giants finish within 11 points, man, I'm just going to fucking rub my hands together like I'm making a s'more over it. Just, yeah.
You have to pick the upsets.
Big time. Yeah. So, but just to close it down. So if you were to do a three play, you had Bills money line, Packers -8, and Falcons +3.
Yep.
So just for the people at home, if that was your ticket, you would be getting 6.04 on your money. That's not a bad way to put 100 down and win 500 profit, man.
Yeah, I like that. And the week before last week, I think I went 2 for 2. Or wait. Yeah.
The week before last week, you went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle money line for the win, and then DK anytime if Lockett was in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
So
nice, man. Nice.
I'll hop on this week's picks. I
Beautiful.
think it'll go 2 for 3. I'd maybe do like wow, it's getting tricky.
The round robin.
Yeah.
I was almost going to do that the other week, man, and I didn't. But I was going to bet everything single, and then I was like, "Fuck, that's not really that fun." So then I was like, turning them into the 2 plays.
Yeah, or bet them as a parlay and 3 singles, so it's 4 bets.
4 bets.
And if you went 2 or 3, you're good still.
You still cover, yeah. That's what I might do actually.
And if you go 3 for 3, it's like a double hit because you hit your parlay plus 3 singles.
And that was like the other day, or actually it was a few weeks ago, but when I had that Carlos Hyde anytime stacked with the Carlos Hyde multi, you just like, yee!
They're getting juicy. So, anything else we need to address?
I think that's it. Are we good for the buy-ins? Everybody's paid?
I think one person hasn't paid me, but I'm on them.
Okay, cool.
I'll cover it personally until they do.
So yeah, we're gonna Chad, if you're listening, if not, whatever, but if you're listening, let's get that trophy. Just throw me a text and we can arrange for a time. I don't mind stopping over. And other than that, best of luck, guys. We've got 2 Monday nighters and a Tuesday nighter, so crazy. I think your match with Powell goes right down to Dalton Schultz on Tuesday night. So
yeah, he could be getting in, he could be getting out. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe a Janu ball.
Maybe. All right. Well, good luck, everyone. Powell, good luck. May the best man win. And I guess until we're gonna be on next week for playoff.
Oh yeah, we'll do a strict.
If I'm out of the playoffs, I'm just gonna be sitting here like a slug. Like, okay, next, let's go. Fuck
dude,
this.
If you're out of the playoffs, see, it's a double whammy next week because we're gonna do a consolation preview and a championship preview. So
you'll be doing them alone.
Have to get somebody on with me then, eh?
Yeah.
We should get a guest host, boys. Just before we go, if you want to get on next week and you're in the playoffs or you're not, it doesn't really matter. Let's get some fresh blood.
Sounds good.
All right.
Until guys. Till next time. Signing off.
Cheers.
You owe me a Coke.
Welcome to this week's episode of